Hello, I'm Ollie, and this is Criminolly, where I talk about crime, pulp, horror, that kind of thing. Today, being Sunday, I'm going to talk bollocks, and I'm going to talk bollocks about why I love horror. So, as always with these Sunday bollocks videos, I don't really know what I'm going to talk about until I get to the point of filming when it's Sunday and I realise I have to film something. Um, and there were two. I was thinking this morning about what I should film, and two things from the last week kind of stuck in my mind and made me think that this was probably the right subject for today. So the first was that on Friday I put up a video on like 30 great horror novels, which is done much better than most of my videos do, which is very nice. And I've picked up a bunch of new subscribers from that video, and I'm assuming those new subscribers are into horror. So I thought it would be appropriate for one of the first new videos they see on the channel to be one about horror, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about my love of horror and to get a bit of a discussion about that going in the comments as well. And potentially on my Discord. So do remember, if you want to chat about stuff, you can always put stuff in the comments, but in the description for the video, there's a link to my Discord as well, where we have all sorts of chats about all sorts of things. So that was the first thing. And if you are one of those new subscribers, hello, thanks very much for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really do appreciate it. And hopefully you'll find stuff on the channel to keep you entertained. So that was the first thing. The second thing was Gina Stania, who is, if you don't know Gina, she's a completely different kind of booktuber to me in terms of she talks about completely different types of books. So she talks about what she terms, what does she call them? Like middle of the 20th century ladies or something like that. So basically kind of cozy type stuff. Gina, if you're watching, sorry, I'm probably completely misrepresenting what you talk about, but very different from crime and horror anyway. And Gina said in one of her videos that she watches my channel, but when I talk about horror, she tends to fast forward because she doesn't like it. And that brought home to me the fact that there are lots of people out there who don't enjoy horror and who probably, to an extent, don't understand why people do enjoy horror. And certainly that's something that, as a horror fan, and I've been a horror fan since I was in my early teens. I first read Stephen King, I think, when I was 12 or 13. It's something I've come up against over and over again, in my lifetime. People saying, oh God, why do you like that horrible stuff? And I think it's an interesting subject. And I'm very conscious that some people like me love horror. Some people like Gina, wouldn't dream of watching horror and just don't get at all why people would want to be scared or disgusted or, grossed out by deliberately seek out that experience. So I thought I'd talk a little bit about that today. And as I say, please comment either here or on the Discord and let me know what your thoughts on this are. So for me, horror is about confronting the darkness in the world in a safe way. And I did a bit of Googling before this. Unlike me, I actually did some preparation, and a lot of the stuff seemed to be about fear as a pleasurable experience. So that adrenaline rush of being scared, but in a safe way. Similar to people riding roller coasters and things like that. It's a safe way to experience the kind of fight or flight instinct that's built into all of us. And I think for me, there's an element of truth in that. But to be honest with you, I don't actually particularly enjoy being scared. So I don't like jump scares at all. I don't find the experience of jump scares pleasurable at all. And I really am not a fan of the current trend in horror movies. I'm thinking of I kind of like the Blumhouse stuff and Paranormal Activity and that kind of thing, of just creepy jump scare. That just rotation of content in a movie where it's just build up the tension, jump scare, build up the tension. You know what I'm saying. I don't enjoy that at all. What I do enjoy in horror is being confronted with the darker side of human nature. And I think that's true for crime fiction as well. I think that's why I like crime fiction so much as well. And I think there's something liberating about that. There are so many horrible things happening in the world today, and I was almost going to say then today more than ever, but it's not more than ever, is it? There's always been and always will be, I'm sure, horrible things happening in the world. and there are horrible things that happen, you know, within our own lives as well. So all of us go through difficult times, dark times in our lives. All of us suffer bereavement. You know, many of us will suffer from mental health problems during our lives. All of us, you know, at some point will be scared for some reason, and it might be because, you know, your kid runs out into the road, or you know, it might be because you get out of your depth in a swimming pool. You know, 100 different reasons, and some of which are, you know, genuinely threatening situations, and some of which aren't, but which we just instinctively, you know, react to in that way. So for me, being able to experience those things in an environment I know is safe is liberating. You know, I can control my exposure to that darkness, and if I find it too much, I can put the book down. So for me, there's something fascinating, and I mean fascinating in the sense that I am fascinated by it. I can't, you know, I can't take my eyes away from it. There's something about gazing into that darkness and knowing that you can safely pull yourself back out of it again, which I think is helpful in a way. It helps me get through life being able to do that. Sean Hudson, who's a horror writer I've talked about on the channel many times before, said something about his writing, and I'm going to paraphrase it because I can't remember it exactly, but it was something along the lines of, he felt that if he didn't have writing horror as an outlet, he would have ended up, you know, in a mental institution long ago. And I think, you know, for me, reading horror, you know, there's something akin to that there as well. It's that exposure to horrible things in a safe way that I find really, really useful. And I think it's not not only about thinking about horrible things happening to you, but thinking about the darkness inside yourself as well. You know, we don't like to admit it, but all of us have that capacity within us to do awful things. You know, history has taught us that. You know, the Second World War and the atrocities that were committed by normal people teach us that, and we should never forget that. We should always learn from that. That, you know, any one of us could do awful things in the right situation. So again, for me, reminding myself of that, and reminding myself that it's true for all of us, and it's, you know, this sounds incredibly dark, but it's part of human nature. But it's something that, if we are honest about, we can control, hopefully. So, you know, that's another side of it for me is that, and I think there's also something about, particularly with horror movies, maybe more than horror fiction. And I said this in my 30 best horror books video. I think that horror cinema tends to do humour better than horror fiction. I think there's really something about that kind of dark humour, the looking at something awful and terrible. You know, looking at, you know, the literal destruction of the human body. And being able to find humour in it, I think there's something quite liberating in that as well. It's, you know, it's looking death in the face and saying, yeah, I get it, you're there, death, one day you're going to get me, but for now I'm going to laugh at you. I think there's something quite powerful in that too. Yeah, I think that's all I had to say today. So do let me know in the comments you know, what you think about this. Why do you love horror? What do you get out of your relationship with the horror genre? I think it's a complex thing, and it's probably going to be, you know, there will be themes running through, you know, why different people enjoy it and what different people get out of it. But I think it's going to be different for everyone. Everyone's going to have their own take on it, and there's no wrong answer to this question. It's, you know, it's a very personal thing. Art is a very personal thing, and I think horrible art is maybe even more personal, even more of a personal thing than safe, for want of a better word, art. So yeah, do let me know in the comments. Do hop on the Discord and chat there as well if you want to. And if you've never used Discord, it's dead simple. It's just an app. You download it, you create an account, there's a link in my description to my Discord server. You can hop on there, and there's just different channels where we can talk about different things. So it's dead easy. So yeah, that's my Sunday bollocks for this week. Hope you've enjoyed that. Let me know what you think. And yeah, as always, hope you're safe and well. Hope you're reading good stuff, and I'll speak to you again very soon. Cheerio.